Welcome to Watch Addiction Reviews. Today we're going to go over a few pre-releases from SIHH of 2018, which does open its doors tomorrow. And it's going to be a great event. Now let's get started with a really cool watch. Now the first watch is the Lange & Söhne 1815 Homage to Walter Lange. Now this watch is actually themed after a man who is a direct descendant of Adolf Lange and actually founded the brand. So it's a pretty cool watch. We have those nice blue Dauphine hands, your typical 1815 setup here. It's of course in a precious metal and it keeps its standard size. Now I think it's a pretty good looking watch and I like how it came out. Now coming up next, we do have a watch from Audemars Piguet. This might look like the 1993 debut Royal Oak offshore watch, but it's actually a re-edition of the 1993. And a couple slight subtle changes, but nothing really major. And they are bringing it back, and I hope they do release a few more colors as well. Audemars Piguet has a lot of new pre-release watches so far. You'll see a lot more of them coming up in the next couple of minutes. And yeah, always a great thing to see Audemars Piguet producing new colors. Now, let's move on to the next one. Here we have a watch from IWC, International Watch Company. This is a very unique watch. It's obviously in a precious metal and 18-karat rose gold. Now this is the IWC Paul Weber, and it's basically a vintage re-edition model. It kind of stays true to form. As you can see, we have the hours in a window and the minutes in a window. Kind of typical of German watchmaking. You know, as you might see in Lange and SOHNE and brands like that. But it's definitely a pretty cool watch, and IWC has a few more models as well. Now coming up next is the JLC Reverso. It's a tribute duo face. This is an 18-karat pink gold, and they collaborated with an Argentinian who actually is a bootmaker, I believe, and made this nice Cordovan leather strap added to it with the pink gold and a brownish color. I think it looks pretty cool. There are subtle changes to the dial, as you might have noticed, and I think it's a nice little collaboration piece, you know. JLC doesn't put out so many, you know, re-editions and stuff like that, so it's kind of nice to see something new from JLC. Now, coming up next is the Montblanc Time Walker. This is their chronograph, one of their most famous chronographs, in my opinion. As you can see, it's featured on this nice brown leather strap here. We have the tachymeter bezel reading. But they did add, or they did create, I should say, their own in-house manufactured chronograph movement, which is incorporated into this timepiece. And hey, you know, it's better than using a Valjoux 7750 or modding a 7750. And yeah, let's hope for the best for Montblanc. Now coming up next is a watch from PIAGET. Now this is a very interesting watch. This watch is the Altiplano or Altiplano Ultimate 910P is the name of this model, and it is the thinnest watch in the world right now, coming in at 4.3 millimeters thick. Now last year Bulgari won the actual award 2017 for the thinnest watch, but this year PIAGET takes it back. And it's, you know, it's a nice looking watch. We have the skeletonized front, we have the small hour, or I should say the rather medium-sized hour subdial. And moving on, we have a nice piece from Ulysse Nardin, and it's a pretty classical looking watch, kind of a vintage aesthetic to it. This is the Ulysse Nardin Torpille, or Torpille, kind of a weird word to pronounce, but anyway, it's based on a watch that was released last year, but they removed the date, and I believe they removed the power reserve indicator. And of course, it has a Ulysse Nardin in-house movement, and it's a completely sandblasted case, and it looks kind of nice. Now, coming up next is the Vacheron Constantin. This is the overseas, but they released an overseas dual time with a few different color dial variations. Here in front of you is the black dial variation. Of course, we have an in-house movement, and you know, I like the overseas models. I kind of like to stick to the standard three-handed date models. They kind of get too cluttered on the chronographs, and obviously on this dual time, it's a little bit too cluttered for me. Not really of my tastes, but for you Vacheron lovers, could be a good choice for you. Now coming up next is the new Audemars Piguet. This is their standard Royal Oak chronograph in stainless steel. They released some new color dials. They made the logo a little bigger as well. Now this watch is using the 2385 Audemars Piguet caliber in-house movement. They also have made the subdials a little larger, if you can notice that. I definitely noticed it. Kind of looks out of place with the 6 o'clock subdial in my opinion. But you know, it's staying true to size at its current diameter, considering the original ones were 39 millimeters, then they upgraded to the 42 millimeter size. Now coming up next is probably my favorite so far of the pre-SIHH releases. This is the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak, or the Jumbo, which is actually done in titanium and titanium and platinum. We have a platinum bezel. We have those small links, as you see, that are connecting the bracelets are completely in solid platinum as well. And one thing good about that is it kind of evens out the weight. So it kind of feels the same weight as the solid stainless steel model, but you are getting a precious metal, one of the best precious metals, which is platinum. And they have that nice new blue dial, which you can see, which really looks spectacular. I want to thank you guys for watching and listening to my video on watch addiction reviews. Hope you guys can subscribe to my channel. There are a couple articles on my website, watchaddiction.com. Check it out, and I will be covering the whole SIHH event over the next couple days on this channel, as well as on my blog, watchaddiction.com. Thanks for tuning in now. Bye.